It definitely wasn't me. It was orange. I saw him escape through the vent.